Shedeur Sanders prepares parting gift for Coach Prime with an attempt to overturn a lost cause. The baby bird gotta leave the nest one day. Shedeur Sanders has essentially played all his football coached by his father, Deion Sanders. But as he now ascends to the NFL, he's got to diverge from his first and biggest proponent. This calls for a nice parting gift before bidding adieu. Shedeur's perhaps got something up his sleeve. It's got flash and pageantry that fits into Coach Prime's wheelhouse, and, above all, will serve as a successor to Shedeur's vacated throne in Boulder. The discourse around Shedeur Sanders has been a little muddled recently, owing to his fluctuating NFL draft stock. But one thing is unequivocal. At the collegiate level, he was a bona fide star. They say leave the place better than you found it. Shedeur spearheaded the Colorado Buffs to epitomize precisely that. The quarterback first slid under center when the program had just come off a 1-15 season. 2 years on, he departs having propelled them into the AP's top 25. Somebody's got to keep this upward trajectory, this momentum, going. One player in the class of 26 is sure to be capable, and Deion knows that. It's only right that Shedeur's planting the seeds of a recruitment charge while he still can. Overtime's prestigious OT7, a 7v7 tournament-style camp, is a hotbed for high school talent looking to make inroads with scouts and programs. Some of the nation's best prospects pull up to Dallas to partake in the event. He doesn't need the eyeballs or the scholarships, since he's already got all of them, but five-star QB Keyshawn Henderson graced the occasion with his presence. The Texas native made the short trip from his hometown, Houston, for a second year running to reinforce what he's about. Knowing Henderson was about to sling the pigskin was bound to draw a crowd. And it did, with Shedeur Sanders getting boots on the ground at OT7. The pair's interaction fanned the flames of the Colorado alum, potentially wooing Henderson, the #1 prospect in the entirety of TX. Overtime posted a video on IG of Keyshawn Henderson coming all the way out to link with Shedeur Sanders, who seemingly just arrived at the venue. Keyshawn actually catches the latter by surprise while he's looking elsewhere. This leads to a hilarious exchange between the two. Keyshawn asks Shedeur, "What you was finna do to me, bro?" implying how he had just gotten past Shedeur's security to catch him lacking by surprise. As the two embrace and dap up, Shedeur replies, "I was going to chill. I know nobody that crazy. My security let you through, so I knew you was straight." This conversation shows that the two already have a pre-existing relationship, which bodes well for Colorado. Deion Sanders and the school are one of 39 schools that extended a scholarship offer to Keyshawn Henderson. That seems insurmountable. However, Shedeur's reverence within young quarterbacks and this relationship with Keyshawn do give them more than a puncher's chance. That said, there's a massive stumbling block between Prime and this elite signal caller. Even the Deion and Shedeur Sanders factor may not be enough to mobilize Keyshawn Henderson. Keyshawn Henderson has offers from pretty much every blue blood in the country, and for good reason, too. He's the second-ranked quarterback in his class, according to 247 Sports. Prospects of this ilk don't usually slip past the Ohio States and Alabamas of this world. However, Deion Sanders' primary contender isn't a blue blood. Henderson's doing things a little differently. Keyshawn Henderson is currently committed to his hometown of Houston and has been since May 24. Through his recruitment process, he's emphasized the importance of staying close to home. UH must be counting their lucky starts that this is how things are transpiring. On3 currently gives the Cougars a whopping 96.1% chance to successfully land their man. Seems like he's headed to the Big 12, but not with the Buffaloes. Through all his eccentricity and eminence, Deion Sanders is a magnetic personality if there ever was one. But even that, combined with what Shedeur Sanders brought to the table, doesn't seem like enough to woo Keyshawn Henderson away from hometown. Flipping him would be nothing short of a miracle for any school in the country. Could relative Minnows, Colorado make it happen? Well, we have seen miraculous stuff up in Boulder over the past couple of years. But maybe, just maybe, this is a bridge too far. NFL rumors. Tom Brady wants Shedeur Sanders benching in rookie season as Geno Smith confirms relations with Pete Carroll. Before Tom Brady became the greatest quarterback in NFL history, he sat behind Drew Bledsoe. Patrick Mahomes spent a year watching Alex Smith. Aaron Rodgers learned under Brett Favre. These quarterbacks, each with their own unique journey, shared one thing in common. They were given the time to develop, refine their craft, and adjust to the NFL's demands before they took the reins of their respective before Tom Brady became the greatest quarterback in NFL history. He sat behind Drew Bledsoe. Patrick Mahomes spent a year watching Alex Smith. Aaron Rodgers learned under Brett Favre. These quarterbacks, each with their own unique journey, shared one thing in common. They were given the time to develop, refine their craft, and adjust to the NFL's demands before they took the reins of their respective. But this mentorship goes beyond sentimentality. Brady has a plan, according to NFL rumors on X, and it doesn't entail Shedeur walking into Vegas and immediately grabbing the keys to the Death Star. The post read, NFL Draft. #Raiders owner Tom Brady likes the idea of rookie quarterbacks sitting and soaking it all in during the player's rookie season. Brady is close to Shedeur Sanders, and one of the team's Sanders as listed as his top destination. Translation: Shedeur will be riding shotgun in year one if he ends up in Vegas. Shedeur doesn't exactly come into this league without baggage. The whispers at the NFL Combine were vicious. Insider Josina Anderson reported that a quarterback's coach described Sanders as brash and arrogant. Andre Sisco of the Jets even criticized his throwing technique, pointing out his ball padding as if it were a crime. But Robert Griffin III wasn't having it, reminding everyone that Brady did the same ball pat thing. And that went smoothly the last time we checked. Shedeur was even supported by quarterback coach Yale Vanoy and Darius Slayton, who described the behavior as a timing mechanism rather than a problem. The point is that Sanders is just misunderstood, and misunderstood or not, the dude can ball. At Colorado, he threw for over 3,200 yards, 37 touchdowns, and completed 75% of his passes. That's not just solid. We'd be hyping this guy if his last name wasn't Sanders. Good. Then came his pro day. 62 of 67 completions, including some lasers on the move that had scouts adjusting their sunglasses. Why sit him then? Because Brady sees things that others do not. Sitting doesn't mean doubting. Sitting means sculpting. It's like the Chiefs didn't rush Mahomes, and they ended up with a generational flamethrower. Shedeur isn't a day one starter in Brady's opinion. He's a day 500 phenom. And who better to keep the pocket warm than a veteran who's been in the trenches? And while Brady's planning for the long haul, the Raiders have already locked in a leader who's just ready to start. While Tom Brady plays the long game, Geno brings day one loyalty to Vegas. Let's move ahead to the Henderson press room, where Geno Smith, who had just been announced as the Raiders' new quarterback, took the mic and said, "When people think about my story, Coach Carroll was a big part of that. I'll run through a wall for him, and he knows that. Pete Carroll is more than just someone Geno likes. Carroll was the architect of Geno's comeback, the coach who helped him reinvent a career that most others had written off into a story of redemption. And now, that same loyalty has made the jump to Las Vegas. The Raiders didn't just trade for a quarterback. They traded for a reunion. One built on belief, battle scars, and second chances. Geno spent the last 5 seasons with the Seahawks, but it was that first full year as a starter, leading Seattle to the playoffs. Remarkable illustration of believing in yourself, Carroll told NFL Films. Geno never gave up on himself, and Carroll didn't either. Geno wasn't shy about returning the praise. He's given me that self-confidence, a new lease on life, Smith said. For years, the NFL had put him in the meh category, good enough to back up, not enough to lead. Carroll changed that narrative, not just by giving Geno the keys, but also by rewiring how Geno talked to himself. Not as a placeholder, but as a starter. "I just know who I am as a player," Geno added. Maybe no one else saw it, but that didn't bother me. That quiet defiance, that internal steadiness, is what Carroll cultivated. And it's what the Raiders are banking on now. And this is where it all comes together. The Brady plan is unlocked by Geno's arrival. With a vet like him holding the reins, Brady can afford to let Shedeur slow cook behind the scenes. Geno's been doubted, benched, and written off. Sound familiar? He's the perfect mentor. The ideal firewall, bridge, and quarterback who found salvation through patience is now paying it forward to a rookie being asked to do the same.